All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Ready to, dive into some more fascinating knowledge.
Always. What have we got on the docket today?
Today, it's all about tarot. But we're not doing a whole overview, not this time. We're zeroing in on one specific card, the High Priestess.
Ooh, interesting choice. She's a complex one, full of mystery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what drew me to her. I want to unpack some of that mystique. Really try to understand what she represents.
I love that. It's like she calls to us, doesn't she? That High Priestess energy. There's this pull towards the unknown, the hidden.
Totally. And it's funny because when I first started looking into her, I was a little intimidated, to be honest.
I get that. There's this aura of power around her, like she's holding ancient secrets.
Right, like, don't mess with me, I know things you don't. But the more I read, the more I realized she's not about intimidation, it's more about empowerment.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into our own inner wisdom, our intuition. She's like a guide, not a gatekeeper.
I love that. So for those listening who maybe haven't spent much time with the tarot, can you paint us a picture of what this High Priestess actually looks like?
Okay, so picture this. A figure, usually a woman, seated between two pillars. One's black, one's white. They often have names, Boaz and Jachin.
Oh, I've seen those. What's the deal with the pillars?
They represent duality, like the balance between masculine and feminine energies, light and dark, all that jazz.
It's giving yin and yang vibes.
Totally.
Yeah.
And she's right there in the middle holding the scroll. Sometimes it's labeled Torah. And get this, she's often veiled.
Ooh, mysterious.
Right. And then there's usually a crescent moon at her feet. The whole image is just like dripping with symbolism.
Okay, break it down for us. What's the significance of all that?
Well, the pillars we talked about, duality, balance, the scroll. That's all about hidden knowledge, divine wisdom, the secrets of the universe.
But it's partially hidden, right?
Exactly. It's like she's saying, this knowledge is available, but you got to work for it. Go within, do the inner work.
I like that. No shortcuts to enlightenment.
Nope. And then the crescent moon, that's a juicy one. Astrologically, the moon is all about our emotions, our intuition, our subconscious mind, all that stuff the High Priestess wants us to tap into.
So she's like the queen of intuition.
Basically, she's reminding us to trust our gut, to listen to those whispers from within.
What about her clothes? There's always something interesting going on there, right?
Oh, for sure. Sometimes she's got pomegranates on her robe or on the veil behind her.
Pomegranates. Those always make me think of Persephone in the underworld.
You got it. There's definitely a connection there. Pomegranates represent the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth.
Oh, deep.
And the veil itself. That represents the barrier between the conscious and subconscious minds. Like she's able to move between those realms with ease.
Whoa, mind blown.
Right. She's got access to information that's hidden from most of us, but she's showing us that we can access it too if we're willing to do the work.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but let's get practical for a second. Let's say this High Priestess shows up in a tarot reading. What's that supposed to mean? Good news, bad news? What are we talking about here?
Well, remember, tarot isn't about fortune telling.
Right. More like guidance.
Exactly. So when the High Priestess shows up upright, it's usually a good sign. It means it's a time to trust your intuition, to go with your gut.
Like, don't second guess yourself, you got this.
Exactly. She's saying, you have the answers you seek, you just need to listen. It can also be a call to explore your spirituality, to connect with something bigger than yourself.
Ooh, I like that. So not a you're going to win the lottery kind of card, but more of a pay attention to your inner wisdom vibe.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if she shows up reversed, like upside down?
That's interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean the opposite, like bad news. It just offers a different perspective.
So it's not like run for the hills, your intuition is broken.
No, not at all. It could mean there are some blockages, something's preventing you from accessing your intuition fully.
Oh, interesting. Like maybe you're overthinking things or letting your fears get in the way.
Could be. Or maybe there are secrets being kept, either from you or by you. It's a call to pay attention to what's hidden, what's being left unsaid.
So it's more like a wake-up call to reconnect with your inner wisdom.
Precisely. It's like she's saying, hey, something's off here. Take a closer look.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. We've got the basics down. But I know there's a whole other level to this High Priestess, right? Like the esoteric stuff.
Oh yeah, we've only just scratched the surface. She's connected to all sorts of ancient wisdom traditions like Kabbalah and alchemy.
No way.
Oh, yeah. And she's often linked to powerful goddess archetypes like Isis, Persephone, and Hecate.
Whoa, goddess energy. Tell me more.
Well, Isis, the Egyptian goddess of magic and motherhood, she embodies that nurturing, protective energy we associate with the High Priestess.
Okay, I can see that.
And Persephone, as queen of the underworld, well, that connects back to those themes of death and rebirth we were talking about earlier.
And Hecate is the Greek goddess of, like, witchcraft and crossroads, right? So she
Yeah.
brings a bit of mystery and magic to the mix.
Exactly. She embodies those hidden forces, the liminal spaces where transformation occurs.
So the High Priestess isn't just a figure on a card. She's a symbol for these universal, archetypal energies. It blew my mind a little.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
It really is. And it makes me wonder, have there been real-life women who embody this High Priestess energy?
Oh, absolutely. Think of brilliant women throughout history, like Hypatia of Alexandria, the philosopher and mathematician, or Marie Curie, the pioneering scientist who unlocked the secrets of radioactivity.
I could definitely see those connections. They both had this incredible thirst for knowledge, this drive to uncover hidden truths.
And they weren't afraid to challenge the status quo, to pursue their passions, even when society told them they couldn't.
So inspiring. And what about more contemporary figures? Anyone come to mind?
Oh, definitely. Someone like Marianne Williamson, the author and spiritual teacher, really resonates with those High Priestess themes of inner wisdom and guidance.
Totally. She's all about empowering people to connect to their own spiritual power.
And Alice Walker, the author of The Color Purple, her work delves into the depths of human emotion and the complexities of the female experience.
And she's been a powerful voice for social justice and women's rights. It's amazing to see how these archetypes manifest in real life.
It really is. And it's a reminder that we all have access to that inner wisdom, that intuitive guidance. The High Priestess is simply encouraging us to tap into it.
So the question is, how do we bring that High Priestess energy into our everyday lives?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
But I'm guessing it starts with slowing down, creating space for stillness and introspection.
You got it. Practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature can help quiet the mental chatter and tune into your intuition.
I love that. It's like creating a sacred space for those whispers of wisdom to emerge.
Exactly. And start paying attention to your dreams, synchronicities, those seemingly random events that feel charged with meaning. They often hold messages from our subconscious.
Oh, yeah. Like when you keep seeing the same number everywhere.
Exactly. Or you run into someone you were just thinking about.
So it's about becoming more mindful, more attuned to those subtle cues.
Precisely. The High Priestess is all about trusting those nudges from within and seeing the magic unfolding in our everyday lives.
This is making me feel so empowered.
Yeah.
Like we all have our own inner High Priestess waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. And by embracing those qualities of intuition, wisdom, and connection to the unseen, we can navigate life with more grace and clarity.
Okay, my mind is officially full, but in a good way. I think we need to take a quick breather to let all this High Priestess wisdom sink in. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back, diving deeper into the mysteries of the High Priestess. You know, before the break, we were talking about bringing that High Priestess energy into our everyday lives.
And I was just thinking, sometimes it's not just about, stillness and meditation.
Oh, what else can we be?
Well, sometimes it's about creating, a space, a space for that High Priestess energy to flow.
Oh, I like where you're going with this, like a ritual space or something.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be anything fancy.
No, I get that.
Just a little corner where you can light a candle or maybe choose some crystals that resonate with you.
And just kind of set the mood.
Yeah, exactly. Take a few deep breaths, set an intention. It can really shift your energy,
I can totally see how that would help. Okay, but before we go too far down that rabbit hole.
Which I am so tempted to do.
Me too. But let's talk about some of the astrological and numerological aspects of the High Priestess.
Oh, yes. This is where it gets even richer.
I'm always fascinated by how those systems can add, extra layers of meaning to the cards.
Me too. So, astrologically, the High Priestess is strongly linked to the moon.
Okay, makes sense. Intuition, emotions, all that. Yeah.
Exactly. It governs all those subconscious depths she encourages us to explore.
So she's like the queen of the moon.
Basically. But she's also connected to Venus.
Ooh, Venus.
Yeah. Which brings in elements of love, beauty, and harmony.
So it's not just about the mystery and the shadows. There's like a heart-centered element, too.
Absolutely. It's about integrating those intuitive insights with compassion and understanding.
That's beautiful. Now, I'm curious, does she resonate with any particular zodiac signs?
Well, she's often associated with Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon.
Cancer.
Cancerians are known for their deep intuition, their emotional depth, and their connection to home and family.
Right, that makes sense. Any other signs that align with her energy?
Yeah, Taurus also has strong High Priestess vibes.
Taurus. Really? That's an earth sign.
It is,
Wow.
but it's ruled by Venus, remember. And Taurians, they're grounded, practical. They have a deep appreciation for beauty and sensuality.
Okay, so they have that Venusian connection.
Exactly. And they often possess a quiet wisdom, a strong connection to the natural world.
Interesting. So we've got the emotional depth of Cancer and the grounded wisdom of Taurus. What a beautiful combination.
Isn't it?
What about numerology? What insights can we glean from that perspective?
Well, in numerology, the High Priestess is linked to the number 2,
The number 2, okay.
which represents duality, balance, and partnership.
So again, that theme of balance keeps coming up.
Right. It's about the union of opposites, the integration of light and shadow.
Not about choosing one over the other.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot of equilibrium.
I love that.
The number 2 also emphasizes cooperation, diplomacy, the importance of relationship.
That makes so much sense. She's not a solitary figure, right? She's like a bridge between worlds.
Exactly. She facilitates connection and understanding.
This is also fascinating. I feel like we've covered so much ground already.
We have. We've explored her symbolism, her esoteric connections, her astrological and numerological significance.
It's a lot to take in.
But most importantly, I think we've talked about how to actually tap into that High Priestess energy within ourselves.
Yes. To cultivate intuition, to embrace our shadows, to live with more intention and awareness.
Exactly.
It's like she's given us a treasure map to our own inner wisdom.
And the journey is just beginning.
So true. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive completely, I want to bring it back to our listener.
Yes.
What resonated most with you during this exploration of the High Priestess? What sparked your curiosity?
And how do you plan to incorporate these qualities into your own life? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Maybe take a moment to journal, to meditate, or just sit with these ideas.
Let that High Priestess energy guide you towards your own inner wisdom.
You know, as we've been talking about the High Priestess, I keep coming back to this idea of her as a guide, not a fortune teller.
It's such a crucial distinction, isn't it?
Yeah, like she's not here to hand us the answers on a silver platter.
Right. It's more about empowering us to find those answers within ourselves.
Exactly. And that brings me to a question I've been pondering. If the High Priestess could offer us one piece of advice for navigating the complexities of life, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a powerful question. If I had to distill it down to one essential message,
Yeah.
I think it would be this. Trust your inner compass. Listen to that quiet voice within that whispers truths you might be afraid to face, or longings you've buried deep.
Oh, chills. It's like she's reminding us that we already have the wisdom we seek.
Exactly. It's just a matter of tuning in and trusting ourselves.
The High Priestess invites us to step into our own power, to recognize the divine spark within each of us.
She's a symbol of self-reliance, of embracing our intuition as a guiding force.
I love that. It's not about seeking external validation or relying on others to tell us what to do.
Right.
It's about cultivating that inner knowing and having the courage to follow it.
And that can be a radical act in a world that often tells us to conform, to doubt ourselves, to silence our inner voice.
So true. The High Priestess is a reminder to break free from those limitations, to reclaim our power.
To trust the whispers of our soul.
Yes. This has been such a transformative deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the High Priestess and the wisdom she embodies.
Me too. It's been a joy exploring these rich layers of meaning with you.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of the High Priestess. We hope you've discovered something meaningful today.
Something that sparks your curiosity and inspires you to connect with your own inner wisdom.
Until next time, may you trust your intuition, embrace your shadows, and walk your path with courage and clarity.
And remember, the deepest knowledge often lies within. Happy exploring.
See you next time. You know, as we've been talking about the High Priestess, I keep coming back to this idea of her as a guide, not a fortune teller.
Yeah, it's such a crucial distinction, isn't it? She's not here to, hand us the answers on a silver platter.
Exactly. It's more about More about empowering us to find those answers within ourselves.
Right, exactly.
And that brings me to a question I've been kind of pondering. If the High Priestess could offer us one piece of advice, just one, for navigating the complexities of life, what would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a powerful question. Hmm. If I had to distill it down to one essential message, I think it would be this. Trust your inner compass. You know, listen to that quiet voice within that whispers truths you might be afraid to face or longings you've buried deep.
Ooh, chills.
Yeah.
It's like she's reminding us that we already have the wisdom we seek. We just gotta tune in.
Exactly, exactly. It's just a matter of tuning in and trusting ourselves.
The High Priestess, she invites us to step into our own power, to recognize that divine spark within each of us.
She's a symbol of self-reliance, of embracing our intuition as a guiding force.
I love that. It's not about, seeking external validation or relying on others to tell us what to do.
Right, exactly.
It's about cultivating that inner knowing and having the courage to follow it.
And that can be a radical act, in a world that often tells us to conform, to doubt ourselves, to silence our inner voice.
So true. The High Priestess is a reminder to break free from those limitations, to reclaim our power, to trust those whispers of our soul.
Yes, exactly.
This has been such a transformative deep dive. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the High Priestess and all the wisdom she embodies.
Me too. Me too. It's been a joy exploring these rich layers of meaning with you.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of the High Priestess.
We hope you've discovered something meaningful today.
Something that sparks your curiosity and inspires you to connect with your own inner wisdom.
Until next time, may you trust your intuition, embrace your shadows, and walk your path with courage and clarity.
And remember, the deepest knowledge often lies within. Happy exploring, everyone.